This is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on a pair of hair sticks. Now, if you haven't ever used hair sticks, if you've got longer hair, put your hair in a bun. These go on either side. So, very cool. So anyway, we're going to make some, as you can see, some antique gold or brass, whichever you want to call this color, of metal ones. I do have wood ones too, but we're going to make some metal ones right now. So, and we're going to use our bargain bead box, the new one, Budding Romance. And the thing I'm really going to use is, well, some of those really pretty blue agates that dyed improperly, some of the tiny teal ones, and the little leaf branches that I've never really cared for. So let's turn down and we will get started on our hair sticks. Here is what we have that we're going to use. I've got some turquoise SoftFlex beading wire. We've got our 2 hair sticks. And we've got our pieces we're going to use. We've got these guys. This is going to be at the base. 2 agates per. 4 of the little bead caps per earring, 5 of these little teal beads per, I said earring, these are hair sticks, and then we want 2 of these little daisy spacers from my stash, 2 crimp tubes, and 1 for each one. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a length of wire out, and we don't need a lot because these are not very long. So we're just going to put the 3 in here, these 3 in here with these spacers. The bead caps are going to go on either side of the agates. Then we have 1 little guy on either side here. So we only need about, I don't know, maybe 6 inches tops. Probably don't even need that much, but that's what I'm going to cut anyway. It's about 6, I think. We will measure it just to see. Oh, just a little over 5. So you don't need much because, like I say, you don't want to make them atrociously long. You don't want them really short either, but you don't want them atrociously long. So we'll put our crimp tube on, go through our charm piece here, drop this down over here, pull it up to where you want it to hang. This is probably a little closer than I want it because I do want it to have some mobility here. So that does. So we're going to crimp this baby onto here. Make sure that's good and tight. This is not crimped as good as I'd like it to be, so I'm going to get in and see if I can't fix it a little. That looks better. So now we have this little guy. I'm not sure if it'll go all over both wires. We're going to find out. It looks like no. So what we need to do is get our flush cutters out and roll our them right up to our crimped bead. Come on, hold still, guys. And once you get it up there, trim that little bit off. And then we'll have our little guy. our bead cap, agate, bead cap, and then I'm going to have these guys with a daisy spacer in between the three of them. Another bead cap, the agate. Oh, he rolled off. I wondered where he went. The other bead cap, and the little guy again. Now see how that looks? Isn't that pretty? Now neither of these two colors actually match the leaf, but it's like it's right in between, so that works fine. So then our hair stick is going to be like this long. So as you can see, I cut it more than I needed, but we're going to go have this, then our... Now you can put this on now or later because it has to be opened no matter what you do. Let's see if this one will go through this little bead. I sort of tend to doubt it since it didn't go through the original one, but sometimes beads don't have quite the same size of hole. But it says no. So we'll just pull this up till we get it about where we want it. That looks pretty good. Then we will crimp this crimp tube. Now, one thing I do have to say is if you decide to do the jump ring on here, you have to be careful because it's going to try and go in when you're trying to crimp. So you do want to try and make sure it doesn't get in your way. Okay, I think we're pretty tight. Yes, we are. So again, we're going to roll our flush cutters up to our crimp and then just cut it off. Now, the last step for this one is to take this jump ring, open it up, and hook it to the stick. Now I used a bronze or antique gold, whatever you want to call it, but I think it's more bronze than anything, jump ring here. You could have used gold because everything else is gold. I just chose the bronze because it matches the stick better. So this one is now done. So we have one of our sticks done. So now we're going to do the exact same thing to make the second one. So we'll get a little wire out. Remember, this was only like 5 inches, and I cut quite a bit off. We probably could have got away with just 4, because there's at least 2 inches there. But I prefer to give myself extra as opposed to not enough because, well, just because. I don't like fighting with the crimp to finish it off, so I would rather, oh, that's wires coming loose there. Come on, come off. I would rather not fight with my wire when I'm trying to put my crimp on, and that did not fix. Piece on will break the thing apparently. I will have to find a new clip for this later. I think I have some finished ones that I can steal the clip from. So that's going to come undone in the meantime, but we'll worry about it after a bit. So we have our wire cut. Now we need to find our crimp tube and our charm. Just slide that on there. Now we want to get about the same as the other side, though these won't be in the same side as your hair, but we still want to get them close to the same. That seems pretty close. So, crimp. Tug. Get our flush cutters out and cut this extra wire off. And now string up our beads. So it's the little guy, bead cap, agate, bead cap, little guy, daisy spacer, little guy, daisy spacer, little guy, bead cap, agate. I do love this color. Bead cap, little guy. And see, I cut a lot of extra wire here. I hadn't really meant to, but I was fighting with that, so I did. So I'm not going to put the jump ring on this time. I'll show you how to do them separately in just a second. Let's pull this guy down where you want it. Now I will say, when you're pulling your wire, it is easier to do it when you have the jump ring on, because the jump ring works as a pivot point. It's about right. Though I think it can maybe go down just a little bit more. That's quite a bit more. There we go. I think we'll go with that, because once we put this on, we can slide it a little bit. Crimp. Test. Seems fine. Trim our wire off. And now for the last step, which is to open up that jump ring and hook it onto our stick. Go, and on the stick. Now I do like to let these drop to the mat so that they are not swinging around when I'm trying to hook my jump ring on here. There we go. That baby is done. So now there is a pair of hair sticks using our bargain bead boxes. Budding Romance. Here we go. Aren't these pretty? Now, I actually like the way they turned out. I'm not, like I said, I'm not really fond of this particular charm, but it works really good with these beads because the color on it is sort of a cross between these two, so it works really nicely. And if you were to put these in your hair, they would go in, back up a little bit here, like so, in a bun, so that these decorative pieces would hang on either side. So, aren't those pretty? Anyway, again, we were using our budding Romance Bargain Bead Box, and this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. I hope you enjoyed making those with me, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.